So today I'm here to kind of do a video celebrating that I have got over 3,000 subs. We hit this about, I want to say June and July, and I felt really bad not doing anything for it. Not even when we hit over 1,000 subs, so I felt like, well, better late than ever. So here we are. It was just a little simple Q&A. I got some comments from you guys. Some of them were really good questions, and I am so happy to finally get this video out. Sorry if it's felt like it's been a while. I promise that I was thinking about how to do it, and I had family helping me on what to do for it. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. But again, thank you guys so much for the support. Seeing your comments every single day, seeing you guys so excited when I post a video just really makes me happy, makes me just want to keep doing this. So again, thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoy this. And again, I'm sorry when I do make these videos, I tend to just talk and talk and talk. But let's get started and let's get right into it. Okay, so how did I get into Love Live? I got a couple questions asking like how did I first find out about Love Live as a franchise, when I first got into it as a franchise, and it's kind of different answers depending on like how you ask it. So technically the year that I got into Love Live was like around 2020, 2021. I believe that was when All Stars like either went global or at the very least it was picking up a lot more steam. So I downloaded the app out of curiosity. But if you really want me to be honest, the first ever like interaction I had with the series was all the way back in 2018, which was a very, very emotional interaction. It's a beautiful song that I'm sure that all of you guys are really thinking about. Yeah. So that was my first ever interaction with the series, was the Nico Nico Ni meme. The Beat Step remix went like viral on YouTube. And like it went viral before I even saw it, but I remember seeing it and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm like, who is this girl? I want to find out what show she's from. And that's when I heard a bunch of people saying, oh, she's from a show called Love Live. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and try and find it. And this is a bit embarrassing to admit, especially as someone who's like so in love with the VAs now. Like I cannot in good conscience watch any of the shows without listening to the subtitled version because I love the VA so much. But at the time, I was a very, very closeted anime fan. 2018 was still kind of a time where like it wasn't as socially acceptable to enjoy anime and be into it as, it's a lot more socially acceptable now, especially after COVID hit. So I was still in the phase where I was still like hiding it from my family and not wanting them to know that I was in an anime. So like when I was watching things, I'd be like, oh, I'm not gonna be one of those anime fans that like watch the subtitle, cause that's weird. I'm just gonna watch the English dub. Yeah, I was one of those people when I was younger. I was in middle school. Don't hate me too much for that. But so I tried finding the show, and the first one that popped up was obviously because the Love Live YouTube channel has the first episode of School Idol Project, and as many of you know, that is the first series, but it was only subtitled, so I went around trying like to find the English dub series like anywhere that I could find, and which brought me to Funimation, but Funimation had actually, for some reason, didn't have the English dub of School Idol Project, but they did have the English dub of Love Live Sunshine. I didn't think there was a difference between the two shows, so Sunshine is technically the group that I started with, kind of, because I say that, but I didn't get through episode 3. I hit episode 1, 2, made it halfway through 3, and then never picked up the show again because I just either got bored, forgot about it, whatever. I also remember not liking the English dub all that much. So, technically the first song slash group that I listened to was Aqua, and it would have been like Ozora, Jumping Heart, or maybe Kimitoyo, Hand in Hand was technically the first song that I listened to because it was that insert song in the first episode. So technically the first group that I listened to was Aqua. Not the first group that I really listened to their songs in full. Well, maybe. We'll get to that later. That's a different question. But yeah, so that was the thing. And so I completely forgot that I even started that show and never picked it up again until, again, 2021 hit. Everyone's bored. And on YouTube, I was getting a bunch of ads for, like this little cute idol game. And I'm honestly surprised that I even downloaded it because, one, it was a different kind of gacha game. I think it's specifically because it was a music rhythm game. I was really trying to find just like music rhythm games to play, I downloaded Bandori. So I was really big into that. D4DJ, I enjoyed. So it's like, it's a music rhythm game and they have like 3D MV, so I'm like, sir, why not? Again, I'm very surprised that I went for it because this was at the time where I did not watch a lot of slice of life anime shows, idols. Like, I was not into any of that. I was very far from it. I knew the stigma that was with it, so I always stayed very far. Again, when I started my anime journey, I was a shonen fan all the way. Like, my first ever show was Fairy Tail, if that tells you anything. And that show still holds like a very special place in my heart. But like, again, I started out like Fairy Tail, Seven Deadly Sins, Soul Eater, like shows like that, so the fact that I ended up falling in love with like a slice of life, and slice of life still is not my jam, but I have been more into like more mellow shows and less like action-y shows. If I ever go back to like a shonen show, it's probably going to be like just a show that I'm gonna binge so I don't have to actually pay attention to it. But yeah, so I downloaded the game and adorable, I really loved it, and that's when, lo and behold, I saw the Nico Nico Ni chick, and I'm like, oh my god, I know this series. That's insane. And so I was just like, oh, that is that. But even though I had gotten into it at the game and I loved the game, I still can't really say that I was like into Love Live. Like the shows were cute and stuff, but like again, I was still at that part where it's just like I don't really listen to music that's like not American music or just not English speaking music. But I think the album that really changed it was when I subscribed to the Love Live YouTube channel, because I found out that there was a Japan server and they're like a few months ahead of the English game. So I ended up subscribing to the channel to kind of like keep tips of like whatever was going on with the game, like what was going to be coming up, stuff like that. So that's kind of how I started getting like information coming about the game. I'd only ever pay attention to it was a game, and I don't remember which song specifically it was, but it was there were 3 very major songs that like made me really start like actually listening to the music of Love Live and like being very into the music. And yes, they were Aqua songs. So again, Aqua really did bridge me to Love Live, because I think, and Saint Snow was a big thing. I personally really don't think that if Saint Snow hadn't released a Dazzling White Town at the time, because that was kind of around the time when I was like getting into it. It was one of the first previews that I had actually like listened. I'm just like, oh my god, this song is actually amazing. The song is phenomenal. But it was Dazzling White Town from Saint Snow. The MV was amazing. I only got to see the preview. They just recently released the full preview though, you guys. We got him. We got him in the big 2025. We finally got that MV after 5 years. They finally released it. But around that time, they had also, I believe, released the MV for Smile Smile Ship Start, or at least a preview for it. But so Smile Smile Ship Start, Mitaiken Horizon, sorry. and Dazzling White Time were like the three big songs that like made me kind of like, oh, this music is actually kind of really good and I want to listen to more of it. You know, so that's when I started actually like kind of following up with the group kind of. It was really only Aqua, and that was about it. Like that's all I really listened to. And so that was kind of like the start of it. And then the Niji anime started airing, and I was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna keep up to date with this, because I love the game. I love the girls in Niji. You know, fun fact, Niji used to be like probably like my second favorite, because at the time when I first entered, kind of like when I had the game, Liella hadn't debuted yet, so I guess I am kind of an older Love Live fan. Not really. I want to say that I'm like a middle generation fan-ish. I was like right before Liella hit, because they debuted 2021, and I got the game 2020. So when I came in, I wasn't a Liella fan. I wasn't even aware of Liella, what they were, and wasn't really like paying attention to anything about them, and honestly until Gen 2 came in, because I had seen their songs like get promoted in game, but I hadn't actually like, you know, gone in and done any of the research. Well, anyway, that was totally off topic. I'm so sorry, guys. But yeah, so Niji anime started airing and didn't finish it. I'm not gonna lie. I think I stopped keeping up with it after season 1, episode, what was it? Like, I want to say it was like the second to last episode. It was the gay AF episode between you and Ayamu, when like Ayamu tackled you to the ground and said like, hey, don't pursue your dreams because I'm jealous AF. It was that episode. That's kind of when I stopped following it. Not because I had any issues with it, but just because like the show was really boring. I did not care for the show at all. And so I did not keep up when season 2 aired. But so again, like when season 2 aired, that also kind of spiraled me into like actually listening to more of the music, because it was always around me, and I was like, okay, you know, these songs honestly aren't bad. They're like really, really good. But again, I was still just like very much a casual fan. And then it was around 2022, 2023, and it was when season 2 Liella was already happening. I think it already finished, or no, it was as it was airing. So I remember a clip was circling around the internet, and it was from Sayuri Date. For those of you who don't know, I am a Sayuri Date super fan. Like, she is my baby. And for those of you who don't know, she actually just announced this the other day, but she's having her first ever live in April of 2026. I'm so excited. I really hope I hope it gets live streamed, or at some point like gets released. I really hope that happens. But she's having her first live, so I'm just like, oh my god, is she actually releasing like a full-length album? Because I need that from her. Like, One Up, Present, and Love Song was not enough, and I love those songs. Which, by the way, her birthday live happened recently, and she sounded phenomenal. Like, she sounded so good. She sounded so good. Anyways, but, so some clips were kind of circulating. Some clips were circulating from their second live show, Liella's second live, and it was the very famous clip of her going around saying like, hey everyone, do you love Sumire, Chisato, Run, blah blah blah, and then like when it came to her, but she's like, do you guys love me? And I'm just like, oh my gosh, she is such a cutie. And so that's when I just was seeing so many clips of her, and that's when I was like, okay, I love her. And then I listened to Hajimari wa Kimi no Sora for the first time, and her bridge in that song, like anytime I listen to that song, I still want to cry, because it's just like, it's probably my favorite Liella song ever. It's really hard. They have so many good songs, but that song is definitely like, it's god tier. It is god tier to this day. In my personal opinion, my very humble opinion, that song is probably the best debut song I have ever heard from Love Live. Ever. It's so good. It is so good. But so when I heard that, that was when I was like, okay, I genuinely want to like actually be invested in what this is, because before I was only in it for like the cute outfits and the cute girls. That's all I was in it for. But then I was like, okay, I actually like love the lyrics to this. So like when that was happening, that's when I started watching a lot of lyric videos, and I was like, okay, I really like these songs. I like the meaning behind the songs. And that's when I was like, okay, I want to watch the show. But then I'm like, okay, but it's a franchise, so I feel like I have to go from the start. So even though I wanted to like immediately jump into Superstar, which had season 2 airing at the time, I was like, okay, I can't just jump in. I have to go to the very beginning. And so that's what I did. I went all the way from School Idol Project to Sunshine to Niji to Superstar. And that's how I just absolutely fell in love with the series, is because it was just like a build-up, I guess. It was a build-up of interest. It was a build-up of love. And then the voice actors are probably the biggest part. It was just all the videos you'd see from them. Amazing. So that's kind of how I got into Love Live. Sorry if that seemed like a very like scattered answer. So there's not like a single answer. Like I could tell you so many different stories of how I got into it. But yeah, that was kind of it. It was really just seeing a very cute girl, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to know more about her because she is so adorable. And then that's when I just fell in love with the series. I fell in love with the songs. It was complete, like turned from kind of casual indifference to like an obsession of mine. And so that's what I started doing. And that is kind of how I got into Love Live. You know, it was just the game, obviously. I never got into SIF, but I am a huge All-Stars glazer. I love that game. I honestly, hot take of the century, that was the real tragedy out of the games they shut down, was All-Stars. I don't think they had a reason to shut down All-Stars. It could have just been either they just didn't want to spend the money on the game, or what. I think I could tell that they were kind of running out of ideas. Like updates were getting slower, but you know, it's kind of just like, it really didn't have to get shut down for SIF2 that didn't even last a year. They're never gonna live that down, by the way. What made me start doing lyric videos? Honestly, the first one that I ever made, if any of you guys have even stuck around for that long, shocking, but the first one that I ever did was actually just completely on a whim. I could not sleep the night of my sister's wedding, and I got really bored. And, you know, I was thinking about, it had kind of been on my mind, just like, you know, maybe I should like do something fun for the thing. So I was thinking about like lyric videos, you know, I would totally love to do that. So the first one I ever did was Nico's second or third. It was her third solo, Nico Pudi. And I did it on my phone, and it's really bad. I probably should private it at this point, honestly. Like, it is really bad. But so the first one I did on a whim, and I don't even think I did another lyric video until like almost like 6 months after I posted that, because I wasn't intending on actually turning it into something, especially since I was just going through a really rough time in my life. And, you know, it's like something I wanted to do, but I was about to graduate, and I was like, you know, I don't have time for this, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, my parents were really just like, you know, like, if this is something you enjoy, if this is something you want to do, like, we're going to support you 100%. So I was like, yeah, I guess. And then another really big reason for me wanting to do it was just accuracy. You know, I watched a lot of like Yohaniko, Nozomi. She's still a fairly big one. She hasn't posted in almost a year, but she's still up there. But one of the biggest things was accuracy, because this was when I was like really watching these lyric videos, was around the time when I was like really early into my Liella phase, and it always annoyed me that people kept getting their voice parts wrong. And I'm just like, I get like the group parts, but I'm like, the solos? The solo parts? So that was honestly the biggest thing for me. Which is why I wanted to make as accurate as possible lyric videos as I could. That, and sometimes the translations were just weird. Like it straight up sounded like someone would just like pop the translation into like Google Translate and just like copy and paste it down, whatever it was. And I didn't dig that, because like I remember, especially for Aqua Heroes, like that is a rough English translation on the official wiki site too. So that was kind of the biggest things for me. It was like, one, accuracy for singing parts, and you know, just like natural sounding translations. I try and do it, but sometimes after I post a video and I'm just like rewatching it, I'm like just like, either I'll catch like a grammar mistake, and or I'll like accidentally put a word in like twice, or forget to take a word out as I was like altering the lyric, and I'm just like, God damn it, I completely missed it. And it's something that I'm still trying to work on, but like sometimes it's the only time I have the time to like really work on these lyric videos is at like late at night / early morning. So I'm delirious when I'm making them. I think the worst one that I caught myself with recently was my Just Woo Sumire one, where I was trying to like change a lyric, but I accidentally ended up like putting the same lyric in twice. I probably just outed myself because no one pointed it out on the video, and so if you noticed and you didn't point it out, thank you. I thought about it, but I didn't catch it until a while after, and I'm just like, should I delete this and just re-upload it? Because like it's not a bad translation, it's just kind of weird, because it's just like you got like one line and then it hits to the next one, and then like the rest of the line is on the next one, even though it was on the first one, if that makes sense. You probably have to watch it, but yeah, so that's kind of why I started doing it. It was really just out of fun, but it's something that I do genuinely enjoy doing. Especially when, again, sometimes, you know, the translations we get just like aren't very good. And so it is nice to have a little bit of creative liberties, like, you know, when I put it in, because I'm learning how to speak Japanese, you know, I've been memorizing the characters and everything, but I'm not fluent by any means in it. So I am getting better with recognizing sentences, because like when I'm translating, yes, I do put it into like Google Translate or even ChatGPT, because they do give like really good breakdowns, but it's a lot easier like when I see technically the direct translation, and then it breaks down into like what it means in English, and that's why it's a lot easier to like make an actual line based around that, if that makes sense. Do I get burnt out making videos? Yes. It has been very apparent, especially lately. Like, I try and get the videos out as early as I can for you guys, but one, I've got school, I'm in college, so sometimes it's like burnt out from school, and then I work like 30 to 40 hour work weeks on top of that, and then I've got, you know, like a YouTube channel, especially with Hasu. Hasu kicks my ass with their single releases. So if I've been very slow with updates lately, it's honestly been because I have been a little burnt out from all of it. You know, I still absolutely adore the songs, but it's kind of been a little bit of a chore to release videos lately, and I try not to think that way because I do genuinely enjoy it, and I enjoy releasing them so you guys can enjoy them. But yes, it is very easy to get burnt out, especially with Hasu. And you know, it's been really hard. Like their summer album that they had where like all of them were on the same album was honestly a lot of fun to translate. So that Burnout also depends on what the song it is that I'm translating, because like I remember I procrastinated the heck out of Cerise Bouquet and Dalkestra's last song, which was it was for their current Fifth Live show stage. Like Lucky Clover was on it, Fruit Punch, Tayo de Ade, and Diamonds. Though I procrastinated a lot on that simply just because like the songs were okay, they just weren't my favorite. But they were okay, and like once I actually started translating, I'm like, oh, this song's cute. I like reading the lyrics. Miracle Park was a lot easier to do. I think from this latest album, Miracle Park has probably had my favorite, which was Heart and EQ and Neon Signal. Yeah, with Y's in it. Adel Note, however, their latest song, it was something Toby Daga Plume Moth was the translation for it. I did not care for that song, so there was a lot of like fighting myself to translate that song because it was just so the burnout is real. The burnout is real depending on like what the song is, how tired I am from work, how much school has kicked my ass, personal issues. So there's a lot of things, but yes, I do get burnt out. I'm currently burnt out, very tired, so the updates are probably going to be very slow in the next couple of weeks. Again, because like school's kind of hitting like my midterms for me for a little bit, so I'm trying to focus more on that. So again, I'm really sorry for the slow updates lately, but short answer is yes. Yes, I get very burnt out. It is very easy to get burnt out, especially when I try to release them as quickly as I can. Okay, what aspects of Hanamaru do I like, and kind of like why did I choose her as my avatar? So honestly, she's just a cutie. that's my biggest reason for just being in love with her, is that she is such a sweetheart. You know, she's a foodie. I love her. I love a girl with a big appetite. You know, she's like just this nerdy bookworm, but she's not really a stereotype of a bookworm, because she's not like the super shy, like, oh no, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. You know, she's not a Hanayo 2.0. So it's like, I love it when she like teases people, and that's one of my favorite things about her. And the other thing is that I was kind of looking for a Love Live character with brown hair like mine. And I was just looking one where I could like spin a fun name on it, and I was just like who out of Love Live has like a fun nickname or like a spin from their name that I could use that has not been done, because it's like still am. I'm a huge Chika fan, but you know, Mikan already has it. There's Yohaniko, which mixed Yohane and Nico's name, which sucks because I was like, oh man, I'm a Nico name, and Chisato Arashi Chips. So there was a lot, and I wanted to kind of like differentiate myself. And so then I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll go with Zuramaru, because that was Yohane's nickname for Hanamaru in Sunshine. And so that's honestly where I really got my name from, was me just trying to find like a cute little YouTube name that was like easy to remember, stuff like that. I really was trying to think of one that matched Conan a lot more, but I just could not think of one. As much as I love my girl, she does not have like really any nicknames to go with, unless I would just be like Shibuya Kanan, which just did not sound good. Like it's harder to remember, and secondly, it's not easy to search up. So that's kind of why I picked Hanamaru as it. And the other thing is that I love her voice. She probably has the most simple design, but like one of the, like she's pretty without trying. So it's just like, she's just cute. That's the thing. I don't know. There wasn't really a particular reason for why I just gravitated to her so much. I just did. And I think a lot of it also became because I did pick her as kind of like the main person of my channel. And then the other thing is that one of the songs that really changed my view for Love Live and like really what got me to Love Live was Mitakon Horizon, which she's the center of. That is her song. And so I think that had a lot of impact, is that she was one of like the first like characters that was really like thrown in my face. That and the other thing is that I think another big part of it was when I was still like, kind of like a casual player. One of the first cards, UR cards that I got that became like one of my like favorite cards, was cards that I was always using in my levels, was Hanamaru's I don't remember what the card name was, but it was kind of like an Alice in Wonderland card. It was part of the Dream Festival, so it was a limited time card, and I kept getting her like every time we had any of the limited events, and she was up front and center, and I would always get Hanamaru cards. So I kind of feel like the game like gaslit me into liking her, because I had to. She's like the only character that I always got her cards. So I kind of felt like it was destiny and meant to be, but as I got into it, I'm just like, oh my god, I really do love her. That and Kaneko's voice is amazing, and she's one of my favorite singers in the entire franchise. Hanamaru's voice is amazing. And Akugo Gare Dadadan. Yeah, I love that song. So a lot of it was just music, looks, and just that she's a cutie. You know, sometimes that's really the only reason that you need to say that something's your favorite. Okay, other fandoms that I'm in, TPN. That's really the only fandom that I can say that I semi-engage in. Love Live is honestly the only fandom, I use that very loosely, fandom that I say that I'm in, because it's like the only community, it's the only community that I actually interact with. You know, something that I was very much aware of, like when I was first getting into anime, is like how crazy the fans could be, and it's something that always like worried me at that. And the other things, like I was always very off social media. Honestly, to this day, like the only social media that I actually have and actually use is Instagram. I always hated Snapchat. The only reason I ever got Snapchat was to talk to a boy that I liked. That's the only reason I actually had Snapchat. So I was always very off social media, so it was really hard to like talk to actual communities. But TPN, I'm definitely in the fandom. I love looking at fan art of it. Like that is what my Pinterest board is like filled with, is like fan art of obviously the Full Score trio, my girl Emma, because she's a cutie. I love her so much. Emma is like, if you think I'm obsessed with Love Live, then you should see inside my head with my obsession with TPN. It is insane. It is like another level. I'm still pissed off about season 2. So yeah, TPN. Any others? I could say Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail was the first anime that I was introduced to. So when I started watching anime, Fairy Tail was that anime. So always holds a special place in my heart. Kind of sad that it went like downhill kind of after like GMG arc, Grand Magic Games, for those of you who don't know Fairy Tail. So that's another one that I could say I'm in. I am a huge K-pop fan. I do not interact with a lot of fans because one thing about K-pop is that it is very toxic. So I really don't interact with it. But my favorite ever group is ITZY. I have a lot of posters of them. I have so many posters of them, honestly. They're my girls. So I am a huge ITZY fan. This was from the recent album, Girls Will Be Girls. Give it a listen, it's amazing. And they just had their Japan comeback, actually, so I know that you guys are more into J-pop. So if you need to listen to ITZY's Collector album. It was their latest Japan comeback. But yeah, so K-pop. I'm in that fandom. Another group that I really love is Dreamcatcher. I am a big Dreamcatcher fan. And of course, this is kind of another ITZY scream, but I love Yeji. She's my bias in the group. I found out that I think I have a thing for leaders sometimes, but this was from her Air album. So yeah, so that is another fandom that I'm very into. I'm very into K-pop and stuff, but very specific groups. But again, so yeah, I'm fans of those series, but I can't say that I interact with the community, so it's hard to say that I'm a part of the fandom. Any other fandoms? I guess I could say ZZZ, Zenless Zone Zero. It's another Hoyoverse game, my favorite out of all of Hoyo's games. So yeah, I'm into ZZZ. I occasionally, you know, I'm part of the subreddit team for it just because I had a question one time because I couldn't figure out a bug that was in the game. But yeah, so ZZZ. Genshin. I used to be really into it, but like honestly, I just started playing it again after like not playing it for like almost a year. So I've been enjoying it. So those are some of the other things that I'm like really into. Yeah, but as far as fandom goes, I guess the only one that I can really like full-heartedly say that I like actually engage with other fans of would probably be The Promised Neverland. Amazing show to this day, still my favorite anime ever. Manga series. Only manga series that I have collected. Trying to get figurines of all three of them because I have like a little idea of how I want to set everything up. But yeah, so as far as fandom goes, TPN, Fairy Tail, ZZZ, Genshin. So I got some very general questions, so I kind of decided to just do this into one go since it'll just be like very quick, very easy. My favorite colors are purple and red. One, because like both of those colors look amazing on me. I think I look really good in purple and red, so that's also always been a thing. But honestly, the red aspect comes from a really weird thing from when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I had this really odd obsession of needing everything, and I mean everything, to be like in correct order. So when I was a kid, I'd always say my favorite color was red because it was the first color in the rainbow. That's my story of why red was always my favorite color as a kid. And even into adulthood, I don't think I ever really shook that off because now I genuinely just love red, but purple kind of like came in. I think it's such like a pretty deep color to the point where it's just like purple kind of like overtook it, but red is still always there because it's the first color of the rainbow and I have to have that in there. But like, so that's a little fun fact about me. Weather, I am very much a cool weather person. I live in Texas, so you know, non-existent to us pretty much. The most we get is like a slight breeze, and every other year when like a random snowstorm decides to happen, that's the extent. So I never get to like really get cold weather. I get the stickiness and the humidity and the hotness. So I hate hot weather. So I'm very much a cool, much cooler weather person. As far as like seasons go, autumn is my favorite season. Cause you know, it's like one of the times where it's just like the breeziness is amazing, gets so pretty around, and it's where my favorite holiday is, Thanksgiving. Yeah, my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. I love going to Thanksgiving, getting to see like all my family, all my cousins and stuff, getting to hang out with all of them, and then eat my dad's mashed potatoes and get some nice turkey, just stuff my face with Luby rolls. Yeah, that is. So my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. And then as far as foods go, someone also asked like what my favorite foods are. It's hard for me to pick a specific dish because one, I'm just a picky eater in general. But if I had to pick like a favorite food group, I like Thai food. Thai food and Chinese food are some of my top two, but then I am a huge like burger person. Burgers. I love eating burgers. So you know, that stereotype in Love Live for New Yorkers and just Americans in general just loving burgers might not be so inaccurate because I love burgers. But burgers and steak, and honestly, like really anything beef. So yeah, like very big into like steak ribeyes, fillets are amazing. Medium rare, of course. But yeah, so those are kind of like my favorite foods, but I love pad thai. Pad thai is really good. There's a Thai restaurant that we go to, and they have this amazing dish called pineapple fried rice. Oh, I love pineapple fried rice is one of my favorite dishes ever, and I need to learn how to make it because we don't go to that place anymore. So, and the only other Thai food place that we go to now, they sometimes have pineapple fried rice, but it's like a specialty dish, so it entirely depends on the week, month, and the day. So I need to learn how to make it. Okay, favorite games. So yes, I do play games. I have a PS5 just actually sitting right in front of me. I also have a Nintendo Switch, and I even have a gaming computer because I'm currently enrolled in a game design course. So there's that. So yeah, I'm very big into games. My favorite titles include that of The Last of Us, the first game. The second game is I'm a hater. I'm a hater of the second game. I'm never in my life have I procrastinated to play a game. That is how bad The Last of Us 2 is for me. Because like in the span it has taken me to get to not even halfway through the second game, I've already finished the first game like 3 different times. Trying to finish it, but I'm not enjoying the second game at all. But so the first Last of Us game is one of my all-time favorites. It's amazing. It makes me cry every single time. If any of you guys have played it, you know that first scene that hits with Joel and his daughter. Literally whenever I start that game, if this tells you like how emotional that game makes me, is that anytime I start that game and that cutscene happens, you guys should know the one that I'm talking about because it's literally the one that just jumps to the start of the game. Like right after the time skip at the very beginning of the game, I have to stop the game and I have to like just get up, find wherever my dad is, and just cry on him. It's so emotional. Like I cry every time I watch that scene in the game. And then I just have to find my dad and just be like, Dad, I started The Last of Us. And he doesn't even need to know anything because I started playing The Last of Us because that was one of my dad's favorite games. I loved watching him play it when I was a kid. And so when I started getting big into games, I finally started playing The Last of Us. And so whenever I just come in, I'm just like, I started The Last of Us, and I come in tears. He's just like, oh, you hit that scene. And my dad, a grown-ass man, also cannot get through that scene without crying. It's crazy. But yeah, so The Last of Us, phenomenal game. The first one. Far Cry. I'm a big fan of the Far Cry series. Their 7th game is coming out soon, and I'm excited for it, but I've also heard some not great things. That like they're trying to aim at a more of like a multiplayer game, and something about me is that I do not like multiplayer games. Like unless it's like a game that I'm hopping on with like my cousins, and it's like a dumb game like Among Us or like Dead by Daylight, you know, games like that. Like those are fun. Those are fun. Only if I'm playing it with people that like I actually know and I'm talking with in the room though. So Far Cry 5 was like probably the game that got me into games, like into like more serious games, because before that it was like Breath of the Wild, Zelda, which is still an amazing game. Tears of the Kingdom's all right, but I kind of need to finish. I need to restart Breath of the Wild so I can actually start Tears of the Kingdom, because I started the game and then it was kind of boring, so then I like hopped off of it, and now I'm at the point like I don't even remember what happened in the story, and now I have to redo Breath of the Wild just so I can do Tears of the Kingdom. So The Last of Us, the Far Cry series, Breath of the Wild, I will add that in there any time of the day. Fire Emblem Three Houses specifically. So Fire Emblem, I think, is a really good series. Three Houses, I love that game. I know it's not like a game. It's like a turntable game. It's like I feel like the closest thing that I could put that is kind of like Honkai Star Rail, kind of, but not even. Fire Emblem Three Houses. I want to play the first two games, but I don't know if they've like revamped them to where I could. I think I'd have to get like a 3DS to do that, and I don't have a 3DS, and they're expensive. I don't really want to buy a 3DS just for two games. And then other than that, I started God of War because I bought my dad for Father's Day. I bought him God of War Ragnarok, which is the second game, and my dad was saying how like God of War is a good game. He said that I'd probably enjoy it. My dad used to be a fairly avid gamer, but he's not anymore, so his PS5 is now just sitting up in my room. So thanks, Dad, love you. So I have all of his games, so I kind of want to start like going through them and playing them. But before all that, it was like Lego Star Wars and stuff. I don't play that anymore, but those were like the kiddie games that I started off with, and it just kind of divulged into like more serious ones. So yeah, God of War I just started. Horizon. Loved, I finished the first game, finally. I really like it. I really like Horizon. I started the second game, but again, it's been like almost a year since I've played it, so I kind of need to go back and restart the first game to just give my mind a refresh on like what even I was playing, just so I can start the second game, because like I don't even know why I stopped playing the second game. I just think I got bored and burnt out of games in general. But so those are some of my favorite titles. I'm trying to think if there are any more. ZZZ and Genshin, yes. ZZZ, the biggest one. It's honestly been like a really long time when I've like actually sat down and wanted to pay attention to something and feel the emotions that were being conveyed. Like ZZZ like had my attention the entire time in the first act. The second act's doing all right. I just think it just started and it kind of needs some time to pick up steam. But so ZZZ was, I loved it. It's probably one of the few games that I'll actually like spend money on. I got back into playing Genshin recently, so I've kind of been playing Genshin a lot. Really just been focusing on like collecting things though. I've been trying to do like Oculus, stuff like that. And then just music rhythm games, but those are really just like phone and mobile games, really. So I'm into games like that, but those are some of my favorite games. Okay, my favorite songs from each groups. I actually had to write it down. I literally had to sit down and go through their catalogs and be like, I don't know. All their songs are so good, but just keep in mind that I got a handful of questions saying like, what are your favorite from like so-and-so from each group. Bluebird's gonna be left out a lot of this just because Bluebird legit has 2 songs. Just like, what do I pick? Their debut song? Like, if I had to pick, yeah, I'd probably pick their debut song over Himitsu Michi. Not that I hate that song, I actually love Himitsu Michi, but it's just, I think, What Is My Life's more my jam. But as far as my favorite songs from Muse goes, Kaguya, which is Nico's center, I love that song. Wild Stars is amazing. I love Wild Stars. So songs like Kaguya, Wild Stars, Dream and Go-Go, Endless Parade, really good run. I love Shangri-La Ria Shower, that one. The B-side to that one also, Nozomi Center. Songs like Loveless World, I was really big into that. Start Dash. I'll put Start Dash in there. Start Dash is a good one. Snow Halation. I actually don't have that one on my list. I'm very upset with myself. I think I was just trying to think a little more outside the box and be less generic, but I have to say, like, Snow Halation. Oh, I love that song. I love that song so much. Yeah. But, so those are some of my top titles from, Muse. A Song for You is actually really good. I'd sneak that one in there too. Song for You. Moment Ring, kind of. I was iffy when I heard Moment Ring, actually. I don't think I put that in there, but those are some of my top titles from Muse. As far as Aqua goes, Music on Horizon, obviously. I've got Mijuku Dreamer because that song gives me, like, Mijuku Dreamer and My Mind Tonight give me literal chills every time I listen to it. I love those songs so much. Water Blue New World, of course. I had to. I love Water Blue New World so much. If I had to pick any other songs, Kagaya Kita Kita, for those of you who are confused, that's the B-side to Bonsai Digital Trippers. That one is really, really good. I think I was very generic with Aqua's picking because I was trying to do this one out of memory, and I feel really dumb now because there's a lot of other songs that, like, are freaking amazing to listen to. Like, you know, Bloom of Colors is really good. I love Bloom of Colors. I think the orchestra is so gorgeous in it. You know, songs like, I feel so bad because I'm, like, totally remembering any of the school year songs, like Hajimari Road, Waku Waku Week, Kimi to Yo, Hand in Hand. I love that song so much. Yakusaku Yo Fan Kasu Driving. I'm chopped, guys. I'm chopped. I'm, like, trying to remember the names of these songs. But yeah, they have a lot of ones, but the ones that I named off first are kind of like the biggest, like, oh, I love the songs. Happy Party Train. I'll put that one in there. Yeah, so Happy Party Train is a big one. For Niji, Future Parade. Underrated song. I don't see people talk about that song enough. Like, whenever I genuinely get, like, all misty-eyed when I hear it, and I love that song because, like, I don't know if anyone else hears it. I think it's Future Parade, but, like, whenever I listen to Future Parade, the intro is, like, literally the exact same as the intro to either Dream and Go Go or Endless Parade from Muse, and I hear it and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it was so. So from Niji, Future Parade, Fly With Me. Guys, that album is goated. I love Fly With Me. Fly With Me is a phenomenal Niji album. It was, like, the album that, like, kind of made me remember. I'm like, oh my god, Niji's amazing and I love them and I love everything about them. So, Fly With Me album, amazing. Our Pieces from their Ayan Ishiyun. It was the second to last song that got released on All Stars before they, you know, pulled the plug on it. So Our Pieces is a really good song. I love that song so much. Those are kind of, like, really the group songs. It's harder for me to pick from Niji because they're very focused on, like, solos. At least they got back into focusing on solos. I remember there was, like, a really odd period where I'm just like, why are they just putting out group songs? Like, not that I'm complaining, but, like, aren't you guys solo out? Aren't you guys soloists? Like, are you even solos anymore? Because there was, like, a straight up, like, 2-3, like, a 1 or 2-3 year period where they straight up did not have, like, a single solo album. And I was like, and maybe it's because I didn't really count it from the anime. I don't know. When I think back on things, I think, like, time felt like it was a lot more than it actually was, but they were, like, focusing on group songs and subunit songs, which they need to bring back. Whenever we bring back subunits for Niji, because, like, For starters, Coco hasn't even sung with, like, hasn't even gotten an official album with Ozuna yet, which is insane. She needs it. Rebirth needs another album. Diver Diva needs another album. Quartz does. I'm just like, when are we getting them back? I want them back so bad. Anyways, and then from Liella, oh my god, can I just pick all of them? All of them? All of them? But the titles that I have written down for like my like favorite songs that I could think of is Second Sparkle. Oh, I love that song. I love that song so much. That album, that whole album is just phenomenal. I actually have the album. If any of you guys watch my Anime NYC merch video, I bought it there and I'm so happy with it. I'm so happy with it. I'm just, oh, it's so good. It's such a good album. So from like Liella, Second Sparkle, Tiny Stars. Yeah, I am a Kuka Glazer. I love them. I love them so freaking much. Like, I love them so much. I think Tiny Stars is single-handedly one of the best like insert songs like from any of the Love Live series. Orange No Mamade, which was their last song that they recently put out. It's one of my favorites, genuinely. Like, I love Aikotoba. I think a lot of people had mixed reactions on Aikotoba, thinking like it was like boring or something, but like whenever I listen to that song, I have such a big smile on my face. But I do like Orange No Mamade like more than Aikotoba. It feels more like original Liella root, because like it reminds me of when like they just had a lot of like guitar-ish, I don't know how to describe it, but like when Gen 2 joined, not that this is a bad thing because I love all their Gen 2 songs, something about it was just like they changed from like this kind of like acoustic guitar, I don't even know how to describe it, to like very like musical-ish, like show music almost, which again, no problem with. I love their albums. Like Miracle New Story is also one of my top Liella songs ever. And the fact that Tamari and Margaret just barely made it on the cutoff for that song is criminal. It is criminal. They 100% should have been in that album. Same with Universe. Like, it makes me so mad that literally Jump Into the New World and Universe were digitally released on the same day, which is crazy to me. I'm just like, so you couldn't have added them into Universe even though they were a part of the group when it was released? That's crazy. But speaking of Jump Into the New World, that is also one of my all-time favorite Liella songs. But Jump Into the New World, Starlight Prologue, I felt like I kind of had to add that one. I love that song. Like, all the season 1 insert songs, like Wish Song was one of my all-time favorites. Watashi no Symphony, obviously. I love that song so much. Hajimari wa Kimi no Sora is very top. Daisuki Full Power. Oh, it's my favorite of all the endings. It is my favorite out of all the endings. And same with Let's Be One. Like, I was fighting, just like, oh my god, okay, this is like starting to like rival Start True Dreams for me. And now whenever I actually like read the lyrics to Let's Be One, it makes me want to cry. And I'm just like, I love you guys. Especially the second verse with the girls. Okay, from Hasano Sora, Aurora Flower, amazing song. It rivals Water Blue New World for me. I love that song. Deepness, I love that song. Again, you're gonna hear me say that a lot. Now or Never is a great song. Key of Light, 365 Days, and I Do Me. I felt like I kind of had to like add a recent song from them. Natsumeki Pain. I'd add that one in there because I love Megumi, and that is Megumi's song. Yep 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 is really good also. Yep Yep Yep. On Your Mark. So like, you can tell that a lot of these songs are like from a very certain period. It's like right before the girlies left from 102nd Class, and it's because that's when I like really started loving Hasu. I think is when Key of Like dropped is when Hasu kind of topped Aqua as my number 2 group that I absolutely love. And now Hasu's my second fave group. I love you, Hasu. Yeah, that's kind of how far it goes with favorite songs. Again, it's really hard to pick just one, so I kind of had to like write down a few. And even then, whenever I talk about my favorite songs, it just leads into other songs. I'm like, oh, but I also love this song, blah, 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 blah. It's so hard to pick a favorite. It's really hard. Okay, my favorite solos from each of the girls, again, I had to write it all down. This is also not going to include Bluebird. I thought about it, but currently Midori and Shion, one, they don't even have their second solos released yet. And secondly, I plan on doing like a Bluebird solo ranking video anyways, so it's just like you guys can find out there. So they're not going to be included in this, and obviously Hasu isn't either, considering the only girls that have solos only have one each, and 3 of them aren't even in the group anymore, and the rest of the solos are just covers. So this really just covers Muse to Liella. For Hanukkah, it would be Mohitori Jenayo, and I put Senko Resolution. I love those songs, they're bangers, but Mohitori Jenayo was from her first solo album. It was like the album that her Umi Katori got, separate from the rest of the group, that the rest of the group never even got. But it's like na 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 na, very slow. It was like a ballad, because like I don't hate all of Hanukkah's songs, but hers definitely tend to kind of like be very like the same for me. I can't remember how Senko Resolution goes. I listened to it earlier, but it is like up there for me. Someday of My Life is also really good, but I kind of like these two just a tad bit more. I couldn't really pick between the two. But so those are my favorite Hanukkah solos. For Ellie, it is Ari Fureta Kaneshimi no Hate, which is her official solo song, because technically the only other solo she got was part of the Paradox series, so it's technically not even Ellie's solo, it's just technically a different character's solo, only she sings for it. Some weird in-game lore crap, whatever. But her official solos, my favorite. It was really hard because like I really love her other one, it was right up my alley, but like there's something else about her just like singing a lot more like calming and less at you. For Katori, it was Spicaterrible, which just because like I don't hate Blueberry Train. It's a cute song and it's definitely grown on me, but it's hard for me to like pick a solo where she sounds like she's so high-pitched voiced, especially since like I like her more real voice, which Spicaterrible has that. I love that song. For Umi, it was Watashi Tachi wa Mirai no Hana. If you can tell, I love all of their like first solos from like the first second years. But it's like na 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 na. I probably just sang that wrong, but it's like so shite watashi tochi no megumirai. And it's just like, and then it just leads into like with like this traditional Japanese song. It's like, oh, it's so good. It hits you right in the feels. I love that song. Yuki no Reason, though, is a very close second, and Neuron is adorable, but it's got to be her first one. For Rin, it was kind of hard to pick for Rin because, again, Rin kind of falls in the same category as Hanukkah, where it's just like none of her songs really stand out to me. But I picked Coco de Materio, which was her song from the Paradox series. Just because I think the lyrics are really cute. It's just as Bob's like da 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 da, and so it was really cute. So I picked that one because I enjoy that song. I smile whenever I listen to it. I'm just like, oh, she's so cute. I love Rippy. For Maki, it was Himitsu to Hanazano, which was also her song from the Paradox series. I don't hate Daring or Daring. she says daring. It's daring though. I don't hate daring. Again, I really do like daring, but I liked the classical jazz from Maki like a lot more because I just felt like that suited her 10 times more than daring did. Like I almost feel like daring would fit her character that she voices in the Paradox series more than Maki, and I truly side with Himitsuto Hanazono should have been a solely like Maki song. For Nozomi, it was Moshimo Katakito. A close second would be Junai Lens, and I'll Smile For You is cute, but I love this song. Moshimo Katakito was her bonus song from season 2, I believe. I think it was her season 2 bonus song, and it's so pretty. She sounds good in it. Again, I used to be a lot more critical of like the more like nasally voices, which Nozomi has. She has a really bad nasally voice, but I used to like really dislike voices like that, but the more like I got used to it, the more like, oh my god, I love Nozomi's voice. I love Kishun's voice. I listen to Kishun's albums all the freaking time. But slow songs are definitely her jam. I think she sounds a lot better in slow songs, which you'll hear me say for probably a lot of like the more higher pitched characters. But so for Nozomi. For Hanaya, it was really hard to pick between Kadoku no Heaven and Kadoku no Kairo, which Kadoku no Kairo was her Paradox Zone. Heaven is her like official solo song. But I ended up going with Heaven because I'm just like, oh, it's a really cute beat. But honestly, they're kind of tied for me. I just went with Heaven because I love that song and I fell in love with it. And then for Nico, it was also really hard to pick because I realized how much I love all of her songs. But I ended up going with her again, like her official first ever solo song, which was Mohotsukai Hajimeta Mashita. I'm just like, na 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 na. That one. Just because, like, again, it's just whenever I hear it, it just puts a smile on my face. A very close second is Nico Puri, because I love that song. And she's a queen. I love Nico. She's my favorite Muse girl. It's good. From Chika, so like jumping right into Aqua. From Chika, it would be Namioto Refrain, because I will die for a ballad. I love ballad songs, and that is that song, 100%. Na 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 na. Daijoubu. Na 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 na. So, it's so slow, it's so peaceful, and I think it suits her so much. Like, whenever I listen, I genuinely like tear up whenever I hear that song, because I'm just like, I don't know what you're saying like right in this moment, but I got you, Chika, and I love you. So it's like, I love that she finally got to perform that live, because like they hadn't been able to, but then at their latest like Numazu meetup festival thing, they finally got to perform their latest solos, which was like last year. It was around last year. For Rico, it would be Minamo ni Piano. Just because like that's just the one I loved like the most. Again, all of Rico's songs are really good, but I also think a lot of her songs tend to kind of fly under the radar for me compared to her other members. But Minamo ni Piano, oh my god, I can't talk. It's okay. Is one of my favorites. For Kanen, it would be Matane. It was kind of hard to pick for Kanen. Again, falling kind of like in the same category as like Hanukkah and Ren, is that like none of her songs are bad, but none of them also really like stand out to me from the others. So I was trying to think of the one so I ended up having to like pick the one which tune like kind of stood in my head the most. I was like, Matane, 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 na 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 na, and then I was like getting in the jam. I'm like, oh, I actually like this song, so I picked Matane. Sakananda Ne, which was her first ever solo song, is also a really close second though. I really like that one. Daya. All of them? like all of them. But I went with just one, and it was Perfect Sakai. I love that song. Perfect Sakai, Motozuto Be With You, and White First Love are single-handedly some of the best solo songs from just the Love Live franchise in general. Might be a hot take. I don't even think that is a hot take, because I think those are really popular songs out of their solos. So that's kind of what I picked for Daya, because it's just like Perfect Sakai is amazing. It's like da na 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 na. It's got a good beat. For Yo, it would be, I ended up picking Ao no Aurora, which it kind of feels like a Yo version of Evergreen from Emma from Niji. And I picked that one because I love the song, and like whenever I hear it, I just like picture myself like, and then like I want to say almost like the 50s or something, and just like with like a camera on like a cliffside, just like na 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 na. It just feels like, again, it's just like one of those other like slow songs where it's just like they're not just singing the songs, like you can totally feel. It's a good song overall. And also Paradise Chime, because I love that song. That's like the song that made me start standing Yo's voice, because that's like, those are the songs that really made me love her singing voice in general. It's like paradise, paradise, paradise. Yeah, that one. That's cute. So I picked those ones. Yoshiko, all of them. I'm sorry. Like, they gave this girl probably the best solos I've ever heard. It's a little unfair, honestly, but I ended up having to go with 3 of them because I couldn't pick out of them. But Tekina Music, In This Unstable World, because that, like, I love that song. I just, whenever I hear that song, I'm just like, that's amazing. And then Forever You and I, because it's like, forever you and I, ooh, her vocals are so good in it. I had to, and Tekina Music just makes me literally just want to dance whenever I listen to it. It's like, Tekina Magic, da 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 da, Tekina Music. So if you guys haven't actually listened to that song, because it doesn't have an official release, it's a bonus song, so you know how bonus songs work. You only get them if you like buy the CD, like the episode CD. So it doesn't have like a music CD. It comes with like, if you buy the episode, and that's the thing that sucks about it. So like the only way you can like find it is anyone who's done like a lyric video for it. And I think the only one who's done it is Nozomi, but hands down one of the best solo songs I've heard from Yoshiko. I love that song, and it's, anytime it turns on, I'm just like, let me dance. Okay, from Hanamaru, again, it was so hard to pick from her because I love her songs, but I ended up bringing them down to 2, which was Akugare Ranaran and Tsubami Season, because both of those songs are just amazing. I guess Miya-san, special shout out. That was her first ever solo song, and she sounds amazing. But those are the ones that I ended up going with. For Mari, my favorite solo from her is probably Mata Kimi ni Aunda. Again, it was very, very slow, very ballady. A close second I honestly can't pick between Shiny Racers and New Winding Road. I know that's crazy because those are like 2 very different songs, but they're both so good, and I love both of them so much. Okay, and for Ruby, I ended up going with Cotton Candy AAO because it was just like, it was a little easier to dance to, but a very close second was Red Gem Link, because, you know, that's the OG one, and I used to really hate that song, but lately whenever that turns on, I'm just like, my baby. So it's crazy how the more you listen to these songs, the more used to their voices you get, the more you love songs that you thought that you used to hate. Okay, moving on to Niji. For Ayumu, my favorite would be Walking Dream, because like, it's like walking dream, na 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 na, walking dream. I just love like that last part solely makes it my favorite song from her, like, ever. But the other 2 that I was heavily considering was Stellar Stream, because that one's cute, but it was a little generic, so I ended up not going with it. But that one, and from their Love the Life We Live album. Now I can't remember the name of it. But it was like the first time that she really like changed like the type of music she was coming out with, and it was such a good change because like honestly I didn't care for a lot of IMU's early songs, but all of her latest stuff is like really good. Special shout out to Sweetest Time and Secret. Those are also really good albums. I'm from Casamigos, To Be Yourself. Na 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 na. Yeah, so Casamigos, To Be Yourself. Amazing song. It's one of my all-time favorites. That one might honestly be my favorite from their Love of the Life We Live album. I'd have to go back and listen to all of them. That and Asa. And from Shizuku, again, I couldn't just pick just one. I love all of her songs. But the top 3 I ended up going with was Solitude Rain, Kobakuma Love, and Pichi Chapu Tinton Tanton. Yes, her latest monthly album song. But Solitude Rain gives me the feels, but then Kawakuma Love is such a fun song to just jump and listen to. It's like da na na da na 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 na. That one, and then Pichi Chapu Tinton Tanton is just such a fun song. I love that song. For Karen, I picked Vivid World. Starlight is a very close second, but like Vivid World, oh, I love that song. I think, yeah, Vivid World is probably my favorite Karen solo. I didn't know if it was a little fair because like her monthly album song hasn't even come out yet, but I also listened to the previews and like they sound alright, but not the best. I was really hoping that we'd kind of get a little bit back to her Starlight era, but we did not, you guys. We got like a slow rap song for both of them, and I'm just like, I'm fine with one of them being that way, but like both of them? Really? It's okay though. For I ended up picking Mecha Going because I love that song. So I picked Mecha Going and Ride the Wave, which was also I's latest album song, because that one's just so much fun to listen to. I love both of them. Like anytime an I song comes on, I just get the smile on my face. I'm just like, sing it, girl, and it just makes me want to dance to her song. But I ended up picking those two. For Kanata, my baby, I ended up picking Silent Blaze and Daydream Mermaid. Silent Blaze just gives me chills, and Daydream Mermaid is just a bop. I think I like Silent Blaze a little more than Daydream Mermaid, but I felt like I just had to put Daydream Mermaid in there because I love that song. From Setsuna, I put Chase. I don't dislike any of her later songs, but Chase is just like, I don't really think there's any beating. Like they really put all their energy into like making her song as amazing as they could for that first one. And like her other songs are also like really good. Like I love Cherry Bomb. Shout out to Coco. Love you. But Chase is probably like the ultimate solo for Setsuna. And I don't think there's any beating it. Not even Dive. Dive is okay, but Chase is. I love that song so much. Okay, for Emma, I did Ion no Uta because I love songs like na 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 Sutsumi tobimashou, cause that song is so good. I remember seeing a meme, I don't know if anyone saw this, but it's like when you listen to the song for the first time, and it's that show from Zombieland Saga, I think, when like the girl gets hit by the truck, and it's just like when you listen to her song for the first time, and then it's like the song playing, and then she just gets hit by the truck and Emma's driving it. I'm like, yeah, that's how I felt. That is exactly how I felt. But, so that song and Koisuru Sunflower. For Rina, Doki Pippo Emotion and Summer Warning were my top 2 for her. I couldn't really pick between the two. Shirako, Ketsui no Hikari, Aoi Kanaria, and Emotion are all amazing. I love all of her songs. They're so good. Especially her latest solo album. Oh my god. So good. For Mia, it was I'm Still, a very close second being Stars We Chase. Lanju, Queendom, and Ye Mingju. I felt like I wanted to put Phoenix on there, but I ended up not. I love that song though. That song's really good, but I was listening to Queendom and Ye Mingju and I'm just like, I miss her early like clubbing vibe that she kind of had. Okay, moving on to Liella, which is going to be completing it for Kanan. It was really hard because I love all of her solos so much. She is my baby. I'm a little bit biased, but I ended up going with Aozora o Materu. That is hands down, like to this day, still my favorite Kanan solo. It's so sweet. Kind of like it's a Tsunade song, as Liu likes to put it. It's a Tsunade song. But I adore that song, especially since like season 1 it's about, you know, Kanan's whole struggle that she went through in season 1, and that's what the whole song is about, so I just love everything about it. From Cuckoo, it would be Fundamental. Despite Cuckoo being one of like my favorite Liella girls, I'm not the craziest over a lot of her solos, but Fundamental hit me like right in the feels. There were a lot of lyrics in there that I felt like I personally could relate to. Some not so much, but some I did a lot. So I love Fundamental. I think it's a great song. Okay. For Chisato, I put Yuki no Kakeda. A very close second would be Rhythm from this latest album, because I love that song. So Chisato would be Yuki no Kakeda. Amazing song. Sumire, Just Woo, because like that song is so good, you guys. Very close second is Starry Prayer, though. I love Starry Prayer. For Ren, it was also very hard to pick because I love all of her solos, but I ended up going with Musubiba, which was also her latest song. It's like Masu na 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 na. It's such just a good song, and Nagi is a phenomenal singer. Okay, for Kinako, I did Teku Teku Biori. That one is definitely my favorite from her because it's such a Kinako coded song. I didn't hate Beginner's Rock, but I didn't really understand it because I felt like it was kind of weird that like they went with that, because I'm just like, I don't picture Kinako as like a rock girly, and there was never a joke in the show about it, so like it's kind of off. But Beginner's Rock is a good song though. For May, I had such a hard time picking because I'm just like, I love Skylinker. I think the lyrics are so insightful and they just speak to me on a personal level. But I ended up going with Akane Gokuro because like that is a goated song. Akane Gokuro is where it is at, but like May has got some amazing solos. But I ended up going with Akane Gokuro. Shiki. It was also a very tough pick, but I ended up going with Glass Ball Rejection because personally I just like the vibe of the song better. It's definitely my favorite song from her. Lilia is good, but I just like Glass Ball Rejection better. Natsumi, I went with Ayo Chodai. Again, I love pastel collage, but I just like, it's like Ayo Chodai, na 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 na. It flows a lot more. For Margaret, I picked Luca. I love Butterfly Wing and Idolstein. Na 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 na. Yeah, both songs are so good. Oh my gosh, you guys, they're so good. But yeah, I ended up going with Luca just because, again, it's just a very fun song. It was really hard to pick because I love her first 2 solo songs, and honestly, when Aspire first came out, I think on my ranking video I put her like second to last. I would totally bring her up into like the top 4 at least now, because it's just like lately, like I've been listening to this song nonstop. It's like ooh 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 ooh, ooh, that one. Yeah. Sorry about my singing, by the way. Sometimes I get really into it. But like Luca is such a bop. It's such a good song. And Tamari, the only one she has is Wild Card, so I didn't really add her in this list. Like technically there's Dulce, but also technically that's kind of a duet with Margaret. So Wild Card anyways. Yeah, but those are my favorite solos from the girls. If I wanted to include Hasu, I guess that I could say out of like the Hasu solos that have been released, my favorite would be Proud by Kozue. A very close second is Yapatenshi by Megu, my love. Like love of my life, love that girl. But Sorry, I'm sorry guys, like this segment's gotten up to like 25 minutes. I didn't think it was gonna take that long for me to explain that. I'm sorry for my yapping. But yeah, those are my favorite solos from each of the girls, pretty much. Alright, so my favorite units from each of the girls, I promise this one will be very quick. From Muse, depending on how I feel or like which song I'm listening to in the moment, it's gonna be Lily White or BB. Like when I first joined the fandom, I was a huge BB fan, and then when I actually started listening to like a lot of the Love Live music, Ano None Gombare, which is the B-side to their first album for Lily White, is like totally like that Binetsu Kata Mystery. I can't remember the name. It's like dun na na show me love na 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 kuda cry. That one. That song, like, oh, their songs are so good. Oh my god. So it's just like depending on how I feel, it's gonna be Lily White or BB. It's gonna change depending on how I feel. For Aqua, hands down Guilty Kiss. I already mentioned this before, but Guilty Kiss is like my favorite Love Live unit ever. Guilty Kiss is just amazing. Guilty Kiss is peak. And like, did you guys hear about Guilty Kiss's collab live show with Saint Snow, apparently? Yeah. Like, they made an announcement on Twitter, and I know that they performed, I don't think it was Anisama, but like, they performed at some kind of expo together. They had a joint stage, but then a few days after the joint stage, like the Love Live Twitter or something like released a pic that just said Guilty Kiss X Saint Snow. And so I'm just like, are they, and so they're either like getting like an official concert together. And so a lot of people are hoping that Saint Snow and Guilty Kiss get a new album, which me too. I want more music from both Saint Snow and Guilty Kiss. From Niji, my favorite album, my favorite subunit is Diver Diva. You can probably already tell that there is a very big that I'm like very into like the more like cool groups, like, you know, like there's I'm totally blanking on the name, but there's like Smile, Cool, and Pure. That's kind of like some like early on the subunits kind of like followed that, but you can tell that I'm definitely more like the cool subunit fan. But Niji's Diver Diva, Yella's Kachu, because May and Conan are in it. I had to do that, and I'm just a rock. I like rock, soft rock, kitty rock. I'm not into like metal or anything, which I mean I don't really consider rock metal, or yeah, I don't consider rock metal, but I consider metal rock, if that makes sense. But yeah, so I'm a rock fan. Very close second is Kaleidoscore. I love Kaleidoscore so much. Like, I know that a lot of people were kind of like upset, like they didn't like the subunits we got for Liella, but I think they were like amazing. And then from Hasu, it was Dalkestra, and it still is, but like Miracle Park has been catching up like hella fast, because I'm realizing that I am like a Miracle Park stan, and so they've been really catching up. But yeah, those are my favorite subunits from each group. So yeah. Okay, this was a really hard question to answer, and I'm gonna have two answers for this one. But if I were to pick like a different cross subunit group, I'm gonna have one where it's just like, I don't know if you meant like maybe pick one girl from each group, or just like, you know, stick with the standard like 3-member subunit. But I'm gonna do both. So I'm a very like cool person fan, so I feel like I'm gonna start down the line. I'd probably want like a cool looking group, like rock, whatever, like very BB-esque. So I'd want to pick, I also want them to sound good together, and I don't want to just pick my favorites. I'd pick May from Liella. So from Liella, May. We got 6 groups total. Okay, the one's down. May from Liella. From Niji, I'd either probably go with I or Lanju. trying to think of like voice compatibility here. I'd go with I. I'll go with I. Yeah, we'll go with I. Okay, Muse. Let's stick with Muse. Okay, I probably want a deeper voice. Like I'm thinking Maki, Ellie, and Umi, like any of the cool girls, but I feel like Maki's voice is like can be a little too high pitched. So I think I'd go with Ellie. Okay, so we got May, I, Ellie. Okay. From Aqua, I want to go with like either Yoshiko or Hanamaru, maybe? I know she's not really cool, but like Hanamaru is a good one. Decisions, you guys. I think I'd probably, maybe Riko. I'm gonna go with Riko. Okay. So I got May, I, Ellie, Riko. Those cover like the first 4 main groups. Hasu. Who would I pick from Hasu? I'm kind of gearing towards, I almost feel like I want to pick Izumi. I feel like Izumi would be like really good to have in the group. Maybe even Megumi though. I don't know, you guys. Izumi. Okay. I'm gonna go with Izumi. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Izumi. Okay. And then I'm gonna include Bluebird in this because I need to love. If I were to pick, I feel like I don't want to pick a more high-pitched voice though, because I feel like I have a good enough of like deeper voiced girls to carry it out. I kind of feel like maybe Mai or Aurora. No, Hanabi maybe. Okay. I'm gonna go with Mai. Yeah. I made my decision. Okay. So if I were to pick members from each group, it would be May from Liella. So May from Liella, I from Niji, Ellie from Muse, Riko from Aqua, Izumi from Hasu, and then Mai from Bluebird. Leader of the group, again, they're gonna be like a more cool one. Like I'd pick May, but I also feel like out of like the ones we have there should probably not be the most like worthy to lead the group. I'm just saying that because I love May so much. I would pick I think I'd pick I kind of as the leader because it's like I want this to be kind of like a cooler vibed group. So I'd want to pick I. Yeah, I have no idea. Their concept again would be like very like cool fashion-y kind of like flash mob. So I'm thinking like very like diver diva vibes. Karen's a possibility to be in there, but I kind of picked I from there. So that would be like if I were to pick a member from each group. Now, if I were just to stick to like the normal like 3-person formula, okay, I want to pick different members though. Okay, why don't I start off with like a theme first? Okay, the theme, more elegant maybe? No, but I feel like that's kind of what we got with Ellie, Daya, and Kozue. Oh, I don't know. Ooh, this is tough. Okay. All right, from Liella. I'm gonna pick one from Liella because they're my favorite group, so I just want them to be there. I'm gonna pick Margaret. Yeah, Margaret. No, I'm gonna pick Ren. Okay, I'd pick Ren. From Hasu, I'd want to pick. Hasu would be Kozue. I'd probably pick Kozue, I think, just because I love those two. Okay, so Ren, Kozue, and I'll pick Hanamaru, sure, because I love those three. Yeah, so if I were to pick like a 3-member group, I'd probably go with Ren, Kozue, and Hanamaru. It sounds really weird. I really don't have much of a reason. I just think it'd be cool to like, maybe because I just don't think there's a lot of connections people can make, but I think they're kind of similar, but those would be my picks. So, yeah, those would be my cross unit picks. I mean, like, and I really hope that Love Live does more of these because like Ice Cream's a lot of fun and it's really amazing. So I really think that they'd probably grab a lot of their old fans back too if they like brought back, you know, it's like I don't think Muse would ever be able to really join in songs again. They disbanded. Like the only ones that I see actually going in and doing new songs is Uchi, Emitsune, and Pyle. Those three are like the only ones. Maybe Mimodin, because she occasionally comes back, but Shikako wouldn't. Shikako would not do it unless, again, like she's straight up said this before, she would not come back unless all 9 of them were gonna be a part of it, so she wouldn't come back for a cross unit. But those are my picks, so I hope you guys somewhat agree with them, but I tried thinking really hard about them because I didn't want to just be generic and just pick my best girls, because I felt like that's a little boring. I wanted to put a little more thought into it, but that's kind of my thought. I was thinking about that one for a lot. That was a really good question, whoever asked that, so like thank you so much.